Hi, welcome to Vic and Vern Sports Chat. I'm Vern.
I'm Vic, and welcome to our rugby update show, our weekly rugby update show.
Weekly, Vic.
Comprehensive rugby update show.
Comprehensive.
Yeah, we're going to get you into all the stuff that's going on in the rugby. So let's have a look at what we're talking about so that we know what we're talking about. You all see how the playoffs are here.
Yeah.
They're already started. We have our semi-finals, the Super Rugby playoff start on Friday. Then, of course, top 14 last week before the playoffs start there. Gallagher Premiership playoffs already.
Starting this weekend.
Top 4 teams made it there. And, of course, we'll talk about our mystery man.
Got some news.
Got a little bit of Springbok news, a little bit of under-20 World Cup news.
Transfer news.
Stuff like that.
Stuff like that, man.
Now we'll talk about it as we get along. But let's start. Don't forget, who could our mystery man be today? What kind of tips you want to give them? I will say the man started his career at Western Province, his professional career.
All I'm going to say, Captain Fantastic. That's it.
Well, you've just given it away. You've just given it away. Give it away.
Give it away now. That's all I'm going to say. Captain Fantastic.
Okay, let's start off with the URC because we've got to talk about some stuff in the URC. That's where the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals were this weekend. The Warriors beat the Stormers 36-18. I'll go through the results and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
The Bulls beat Edinburgh 42-33. Leinster beat Scarlets 33-21. The Sharks and Munster drew. Extra time, no score, and then they had that penalty shootout, which we'll get into. Of course, this week is the semi-finals. Leinster's against the Warriors and the Bulls against the Sharks in an all-South African clash. So, let's talk about it. Let's start with your Stormers.
You want me to start? Okay, listen, I was optimistic, because I always am. Why are you laughing, man? No, I was really optimistic. I thought the Stormers were going to do it. They went up to Edinburgh, came out like a house on fire, gained the first try, fantastic stuff.
And then they burnt their own house down.
Defense was shocking.
Shockingly bad.
Defense was like Swiss cheese, Vic, and we know Swiss cheese. That was holy.
I mean, first of all, I want to shout out to Glasgow. They played very well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look.
They deserve to win.
I thought coaching was terrible. I thought the whole substitution. I mean, at one phase in the game, they had Mani Lebok, Sasha Feinberg, Mongazulu, and Herschel Yankees on the field.
Weak.
They're not going to defend the big runs and stuff like that.
No.
It wasn't good. I mean, kicking wasn't good. Nothing was good.
I just thought defense was really bad. They could walk through the Stormers lineup without a problem. I don't know what it was, but it was the last couple of games for the Stormers where the defense was shabby. That's all we're going to say about it. But Glasgow did deserve to win.
Yeah, and they're off now to Leinster. They beat the Scarlets. I actually thought the Scarlets played really, really well.
I was rooting. We were rooting
for the Scarlets.
They were playing really well. I thought it was going to... My heart wanted the Scarlets to win. My brain was saying the Leinster's going to hammer them. But Scarlets played well. It wasn't a hammering.
No, look, I would say for the possibility that the Scarlets had, they played a really good game.
Yes.
And now Glasgow has to travel to Leinster. And remember last time they did that was in the Investor Cup. And I think it was like something like 62 or 56-0 or something like that.
It was a horrible result.
But I kind of feel Glasgow could still do something. They are the reigning champions.
They are the reigning champions. Champions is their word. I don't know. But it's going to be a tough one. But I thought because Scarlets played so well, if Glasgow plays anything close to a good game, they've got a shot.
Well, I'm rooting for Glasgow because I want the final to be in South Africa, you see.
Exactly. So me too, of course. I mean, nothing else there.
So, then let's get into the other games. Then the Bulls took on Edinburgh. I actually thought Edinburgh played really well.
I was a bit worried there at half time there. I was like, it was close, man.
Yeah, but look, it's very hard to win in Loftus.
It's hard to win in Loftus, but... the Bulls have lost in losses against Northampton Saints this year.
Against the Sharks, which they're going to be facing.
Yes. I also thought their defense wasn't too hot. But in the second half, the minute they changed, they got so many good players they could bring in. Their substitutes, also they were mustard. And, of course, they brought it home.
And then the big game of the weekend that wasn't... I'm going to just adjust there quickly. That wasn't so entertaining for me was the Sharks against Munster. We'll get into certain aspects of the game, but I mean, look, it wasn't a nice game to watch. No, it wasn't. from
A quality game.
it wasn't a quality game. It was an exciting game because of what happened.
It was exciting because the Sharks didn't rock up once again. And then once again, they only did the abs. Now they really.
I mean, can you do less and still win?
Yes, no, you can't do it anymore. They've done it now.
I mean, if you do any less,
I mean 1 point against Zebra.
this is the whole
Dragons.
season for the Sharks.
The whole season, man.
Like I always said, they're like a good show jumping horse. Only jumps over the poles as high as it has to.
Shocking, Vic. Now, come on. That squad is a Springbok squad. They've got all of them are Springboks, all of them.
I was losing my rocket. I mean, there's certain players that I thought played horrendously bad.
JJ?
In the first half, the two Hendricks brothers, I mean, they wouldn't have played against fucking a Pee-wee side under 15. No. They were that bad.
Apalele
Farsi was horrifically bad. The mistakes he made in the first half were terrible. I thought the pack wasn't good. I actually thought the pack got better when you took off the three Springboks. When you took
off the front row.
Ox, Bongi, and Koch, it got better. But listen here. Then we got into that extra time. No one could score in extra time.
But first, the Sharks are down. They still have to score twice to make it up.
There again, coaching decisions for me were in fact, brain farts. I mean, in front of the poles, the Sharks could have taken the 3 points in overtime. They didn't. Then it went down to that penalty kicking. I've never seen that before.
No, that was weird.
That was quite interesting. It was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
It was entertaining. I felt for the one kicker from Munster that didn't make it. I mean, it's heartbreak for him.
But we got to get into a little of action off.
We got to talk about where's the dumbass.
No, I wouldn't call him dumbass.
Yes,
he had a cramp. He definitely had a cramp.
Yes, but that cramp wasn't that long. Come on.
He could have got up and moved to the side.
Yes, he could have got up.
He could have got. And then he had that little cheeky wink still.
And stuff like that. I mean, look.
No, man. You win properly, man.
If you have a cramp, you lie down, pump, and just take me over to the side.
Yes.
Because the Munster kicker wanted to kick already. He said, it doesn't matter, I'll kick.
Yeah.
And the ref said, no, you can't. And in that moment, you saw Jaden was definitely milking it.
He was milking it.
But listen here, don't do that in future. Listen here, you represent the Sharks, and that wasn't representation in a good way.
No, but he definitely did have a cramp.
Yeah.
He definitely did have a cramp.
Yeah, I mean, he had a cramp all game.
He had a cramp.
He has a cramp with his arms. He can't get the ball out of the rucks quick enough.
Can't.
No, that's a problem.
That's sad, man.
So I didn't like that.
No, but the Sharks did win.
The Sharks did win.
And now they travel up to Loftus.
Where we did win this year already.
It's going to be an epic battle.
I don't think it's going to be epic. I think I can't see the Sharks doing it again, just jumping as high as they have to. If they don't come out with a really good performance, I think the Bulls will destroy them.
I think it...
And I'm looking at it a little bit... Being a Sharks fan, I would love the Sharks to be in the final. But if we have to travel to Leinster...
Our Bulls have got a better chance.
The Bulls have got a better chance travelling. We will know beforehand.
Yes.
If Glasgow win, and they have to travel down to South Africa, either to the Bulls or to the Sharks, then I think the Sharks have got a good chance at home. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. But that Leinster game is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, can't wait for that. Live on this channel as well.
Live.
Watch on
all games live.
All games live. Watch on this channel. So join us for those ones.
Then a little bit other news out of the URC.
Stuart Lancaster, the former England Leinster Racing 92 manager, is now
back at Connacht. So they've signed a new manager. Good for them.
Good for them.
So welcome back to the URC, Mr. Lancaster.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're going to get hammered.
Then we got to talk about. There was the Super Rugby, the last week of the Super Rugby. There you go. The Highlanders got destroyed by the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Good game, Brumbies against Crusaders. Very interesting.
That was a good tight one.
Nice
also,
win.
a win in the last second there.
Yeah, good win by the Crusaders.
Yeah.
The Blues destroyed the Waratahs 46-6.
That was a big surprise, though.
The Hurricanes destroyed Mana. I was totally devastated.
We were devastated on that one, yeah.
64-12. And the Reds just took care of the Drua 52-7. A lot of big wins at the end. So that leaves us with the playoff picture as follows. Crusaders against the Reds. Live on this channel. Yep. Chiefs against the Blues. Live on this channel. And Brumbies against the Hurricanes.
Live on this channel.
But to get you guys the information, right? There are only three quarterfinals. So the three winners go through. And the highest placed team that loses will go through as well. That was in the league. So let me just put that out there again, the results. Meaning, I think the Chiefs win their game against Well, if the Chiefs could afford to lose
Yeah.
to the Blues because they were number one in the league, they automatically will be
Qualified.
qualified. But if the Chiefs win, let's say all the home teams win, the Crusaders, the Chiefs, and the Brumbies, then it would be the Hurricanes that would go through. It would be the Hurricanes that go through. Yeah, it's quite complicated, but during the live games, we'll explain to you more about that. I mean,
Fantastic stuff, man.
I mean, the games were the Crusaders one was a good game against the Brumbies.
I was just very disappointed in the Moana Pacifica game because if Moana won there with a bonus point, they would have qualified. But once again, for the second week in a row, they didn't rock up.
No, and I mean, and it was a surprise to me that a New Zealand team got the wooden spoon this year in the Highlanders.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that to happen, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens next
Down
year.
there in Dunedin.
There's a lot of things in the background going on in the Super Rugby. Is there a 12th team coming in?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens.
A lot of players have re-signed. In New Zealand, some players are going overseas.
So we'll
minute the season's finished, we'll have a little recap show on that one.
Go. Then, of course, this week, there was the top 14, the second last round in the top 14. Clermont beat Stade Français, as you can see, 55-20. Racing lost to Montpellier, 25-27, surprise, surprise. Castres beat Bionnet, 33-3. La Rochelle, Perpignan, 38-15. Vaughan got destroyed by Pau, 26-52. Toulon beat Bordeaux.
Ooh,
that's a surprise, 27-10. And Toulon's thrashed Lyon, 43-3.
Yeah, but Toulon, Bordeaux, and Toulouse are very close.
Yeah.
Very close, Vic.
So these fixtures this week, these are the fixtures. I'm not going to go through all of them. Lot to play for this week still. I mean,
standout game would be...
There also 6 teams qualify.
Yeah.
So it's the same... Is it the same scenario as in the Super Rugby, I think?
Lyon Racing, I would say, would be the standout
game. Yeah, definitely. And Bionnet, Toulon, it's going to be tough. So those are the games coming up. Didn't put the table out today because, Toulon is through, Toulouse is through, and Bordeaux are definitely through.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. Then we move to the Gallagher Premiership, and it is semi-finals weekend this weekend.
Semi-finals weekend, yeah.
So let me have a look at that. Take it out there. You'll see I put it at the bottom. So last week, the results, the Bears beat the Harlequins 52-26. Big game, important game. Good win for the Bears, gets them into the playoffs.
Gloucester beat the Saints.
Yeah, 41-26. Saints not in the playoffs.
Oh, that was surprising. They did so well in the Investec Cup.
Yeah.
Beating the Bulls in Loftus, beating Leinster in Dublin.
Yeah. Saracens also not make the playoffs. Even though they beat Bath, they did everything they could, but they didn't make the playoffs. Leicester too strong for the Falcons.
Yeah.
Falcons is a shit show. And the Chiefs lost to the Sharks 26-30. So we have our semi-finals. Bath against the Bears and Tigers against the Sharks.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. What do you think?
I'm hoping for a Leicester Tigers in the final, and then we can do it.
Leicester Tigers against Bath would be nice.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 big teams.
If it's not, conflicting with other things, we should do that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
See what Andre is up to.
Then, of course, listen here, in Japan,
Konnichiwa.
it's all done. They play out the 3rd and 4th place spots.
Yeah.
So let's start there. 4th came the Wild Knights, Kobe Steelers. They got the 3rd spot. And the final, here we go. Toshiba Brave Lupus Tokyo are the champions in Japan.
Yeah.
They beat Kubota Spears.
Yeah, pity day for Malcolm Marks.
For Malcolm Marks, but no, Japanese, that was very good. So they are the champions there.
If we'd only find somewhere where we could watch it, maybe we can do game. That would be.
Wouldn't it be interesting? Maybe 1 or 2 Japanese teams go into Super
There
Rugby.
was one in the Japanese.
In the Super Rugby.
There was one in the Super Rugby. What were they called again? Something Sun Goliath. Another Sun Goliath. Something I can't remember. Okay. But they weren't too bad.
Then I just want to give you guys some updates. Of course, the first international of the year is going to be the Barbarians against the Springboks on the 28th. That's the day before we go down to the Under-20
yes.
World Cup. Just going to give you a quick, of course, this is the Springbok schedule for the summer. Obviously, 2 times Italy, then Georgia, and then the Rugby Championship starts. And then, those are all the games that are going to be playing out there. So, I'm looking forward to those New Zealand games as well. In New Zealand, I think that's going to be the big test.
Yeah.
That'll show me also for the World Cup, can we win against
the Barbarians? We will do a show. We'll have our predictions for which we think should be the lineup.
The minute Rossi gives the lineup for the Springboks.
No, we're going to give our own lineup, which we would think for the lineup, which would be a cool thing to do. I would like to see nobody over the age of 30 against the Barbarians. A young...
Can't see that happening.
I can't see that happening.
I can see him giving Willie Leroux, because Willie's only like 3.
It doesn't count as a cap.
It doesn't count as a cap.
Doesn't count as a cap. Doesn't count as an international. There's no points, nothing.
Okay.
That's
So
just
then he won't.
I would like to see him give a young team, a U30 team, a run out.
Okay.
You know, you got your Marnie, your Sasha, maybe a Morne van der Berg in the
Cameron Hanekom,
Jan-Henrik Wessels, you know, something like a young player.
Well, it all depends what happens this weekend. Let's say the Sharks and the Bulls. I think a lot of Sharks players will be involved if they get knocked out.
But there's a lot of old Sharks players.
You'd
like to see an Ethan Hooker maybe, or stuff like that. That's just my wishful thinking.
But don't forget, there is the British and Irish Lions. We'll be doing a few of their games, especially against the Wallabies. I'd like to do the first one against Argentina as well.
Yes, we'll see what time that starts and stuff like that. We'll get that all up and running. That would be fantastic, man.
But don't forget, we just mentioned it before, we are going down to Italy on the 29th to watch the Young Box or whatever they call
Baby
it.
Box.
Baby Box to play against the Baby Wallabies. We need to kick them in the teeth. I'm looking forward to a live rugby game down there in Italy in Calvisano.
Yeah.
If anybody else is in Italy, come and join us. Let us know.
Let us know. We can maybe hang out and get a pizza after the game or something, or beer or something like that.
Just want to show you the groups there quickly. So in Group A, I think it's a strong group with England, Australia, South Africa, and Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland.
The first top 2 of each group go through, plus the 2 best third place teams.
So you're almost everybody.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of.
Then in Group B, France, Argentina, Wales, and Spain. I think it's an easy group for the French.
French off.
I think
That's France, Argentina.
I think so too. And then in Group C, New Zealand, Ireland, Georgia, and Italy. Tough for the Italians.
Yeah.
It's a tough group for the home team.
Yeah, but you know what I really like?
Yeah.
Seeing Spain there. Spain has done a fantastic job in the sevens. Really, really good. And now that the juniors are coming up, I find it's maybe a country we should help out and try to push them up to the next level.
You know, could Spain somewhere down the line, if they keep on going up, get into the Six Nations?
Yeah, you never know. I mean,
you could replace Wales at the moment.
Anybody can replace Wales.
So that's kind of our roundup for this. The minute we get closer to those Springbok games and to the internationals, we'll have a lot more information on the internationals. But let's get back to our mystery man.
That was pretty easy, though.
You think? I thought it was quite easy.
When I said Captain Fantastic.
Of course, everybody. Of course, it's Sia Khaleesi, man. Of course. So that's our mystery man for today.
You're not worthy. Mustard, man.
So let's talk a little bit about Sia. I mean, you can run through information here.
Okay, Sia
Can
Khaleesi.
you say his real name, his full name?
Sia Matanda Khaleesi. Born on the 16th of June, 1991. So he's 33 years old, Vic.
No.
Born in Port Elizabeth.
Will he still be in the Springboks at the next World Cup at 35? I think he will be part of it. I think you take him as the captain. Maybe he doesn't play all the games, but you take him.
Yeah. Always to say, but it's still a long time to go. Yeah. As he's getting that age, injuries maybe. He's a 1 meter 86 tall, Vic, 105 kilos. Went to Grey High School. Check out his caps and stuff. Position is loose forward. Yeah, can play any of those 6, 7, or 8. All of those positions.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. Yeah,
he hasn't played 5.
He's never played 5.
No, 6, 7, and 8. Started his career off there in Western Province.
Yeah.
Stormers.
When his youth career started off in the Eastern Cape for the Eastern Province Kings.
Yeah.
And then he moved to Cape Town to play for Western Province, and then he started his professional career for Western Province, and then he went to the Stormers. And then he had a little spell at the Sharks before he decided to go for a year to France.
Française.
Racing 92. And
wasn't a very successful up there in Racing, but never mind.
And back at the Sharks.
Back at the Sharks, yeah.
No, I think that was a good buy by the Sharks.
Definitely. Had 92 caps for the Boks. Wow.
I mean,
Impressive.
and then, I mean, look, he won a bronze medal in 2015 in England. And then, obviously, back-to-back gold medals. As captain. Could he be the first rugby captain ever to win 3 Rugby World Championships in a row?
It's going to
All
be
3 Rugby World Championships, period.
It's going to be a tough one because some of those great South African players are just on that cusp of being...
See, I have this thing. I have this thing. If the Springboks win a 3rd in a row, right?
Yeah.
Then, of course, you can't... That trophy has to go.
Yeah, Webb Ellis gone.
It's got to be gone. Then the question is, do you name it the Siya Kolisi Trophy or do you name it the Rassie Erasmus Trophy? Or the Rassie, you know?
Yeah,
Because that's
what
what they do in football, right?
That's
It was
what
the
they do.
Jules Rimet Trophy.
Yeah.
And then Brazil won it 3 times and then it got changed. This Webb Ellis needs to go.
Yes, it has to go, but you know that they'll must probably name it after some Irish person. Or some
The
English
Caleb Doris Trophy.
Caleb Doris.
No.
Twats. But never mind.
So that's kind of our roundup for today. Looking forward to the big rugby on the weekend.
Yeah, starts on Friday morning, 9 o'clock.
Central European time. Yeah, with the Crusaders game.
Yeah.
So that's going to be very interesting. And then, of course, Saturday we have the other 2 quarterfinals in the Super Rugby and the 2 semi-finals. So that's going to be big. So join us.
Join us. It's going to be mustard, man.
See you guys. Ciao.
Peace.